Hi all, so I've been into watches for several decades now, but surprisingly, it wasn't until the last few years that I actually picked up my first Citizen watch. Yeah, I used to be a bit of a watch brand snob and never really paid any attention to this brand. Anyways, the one I ended up getting is from their Elegance range, a dressier piece that's not your typical solar or eco-drive quartz-powered Citizen that most people associate the brand with. I love this watch for a whole bunch of reasons, and I'm looking at picking up another Citizen, so after researching and digging in more, I realised there's way more under the surface than I had expected, including a whole family of sub-brands and sidelines that you might not even realise are related. So let's dive in. Now, Bova isn't technically a sub-brand and have their own legacy and rich US roots, but as of 2008, it's owned by Citizen. This is a great example of manufacturing at scale, but also Citizen allowing its acquisition to keep its own identity and do its own thing. But when you really start looking, you can definitely see some crossover and similarities. Take a look at my two open hearts. It's like a sibling brand with a different badge. Now, this is actually where I had my first weird run-in with a Citizen sub-brand without even knowing it. I picked up one of these novelty Snoopy watches for my wife. Just a fun little cute thing. And then I found out my mother-in-law had also bought herself one in Japan during her visit. But there's more to Q&Q than just novelty stuff. And I've seen everything from ultra basic cheap copies, field style watches, to more solar-powered radio-controlled offerings. They even have a line called Smile Solar, which are colourful, lightweight, and made from recycled materials, which could go head-to-head with Swatch. Q&Q feels like a gateway brand, super affordable and solid for the price. You'll find plenty floating around eBay and Japanese storefronts. Falcon is another offshoot, which seems similar to the Q&Q. Super minimalistic, classic designs, not flashy, but still charming in their own vintage way. Now, scrolling eBay one night, I came across something called Independent by Citizen. These look to be a JDM line that leans into modern futuristic designs, possibly aimed at the more youthful market. They even have Anna Digi models that are basically Citizen Anna Digis, with the same layout, same case, just different branding. I haven't run across any of these, and some of them honestly look like fun sleeper pieces to obtain. Reguno is another JDM brand I came across, and very classic Citizen designs, offering everyday practicality. Think simple quartz and eco-drive watches, affordable with easy to read dials and no fluff. A lot of these are clearly meant to be daily beaters, offers watches, commuter watches, that sort of thing. Some even resemble the older Citizen quartz models from the 80s and 90s. So if you're into that clean, no-nonsense aesthetic, Reguno is worth scrolling for. Then there are a bunch of more niche JDM or fashion-forward sub-brands. Wicker is a feminine, soft-designed sub-brand. Pastel colours, gentle curves, and smaller case sizes, but with full Citizen functionality, like solar movements and sometimes even radio-controlled. Former is a bit more neutral, minimalist, clean, and probably aimed at office workers and those who want something smart and low profile. Thunderbird is a bit of a wild card. I can't find much info on these, so some of these models could be small run or regional releases. Super cool though. X-Girl is a collab brand, streetwear rooted and probably tied to music and counterculture. And the Citizen collabs usually involve funky dials, unique colorways, and limited releases. Digging even deeper, Exceed is where Citizen starts pushing into luxury territory. You'll find titanium, sapphire glass, super precise movements, but still very restrained and classic in design. Luxury without the loudness. XC, which I'm led to believe is pronounced Cross C, appears to be a female-oriented luxury line. Smaller cases, elegant designs, and advanced movement tech. Radio-controlled eco-drive in a sleek polished shell. And now this one deserves more investigating. Campanola, which may be Citizen's hidden crown jewel. like their high-end art line, where they let their designers and craftsmanship really shine. We're talking hand-finished dials, layered lacquered work, complications such as moon phases, perpetual calendars. These are the pieces you just stare at. They're pricier, but not overpriced, if you get what I mean. Still attainable for the enthusiast, and genuinely beautiful. Definitely more about visual and technical artistry than everyday wear, and the least citizen-y association anyone would expect. Now you know. HMT isn't really a sub-brand, but it's interesting. An Indian watch manufacturer with rich heritage and partnered with Citizen back in the day. They share some tech and movement designs, so while HMT watches aren't Citizen branded, you'll occasionally find similarities, especially in older mechanical models. Some HMTs floating around on eBay may be Redials or Franken watches, so heads up if you go hunting. If anyone is watching from India and knows more about HMT and Citizen, I'd love to hear about it in the comments and go down this rabbit hole. So there you have it. There are probably more micro brands or regional variants I've missed. Citizen's reach is obviously huge, and not everything makes it outside Japan. Yes, the Syosa, Small Seconds variant and Zenshin have really broken out recently, but it's also super cool to find out about these oddities that fly under the radar. Once you scratch the surface, Citizen is way more than just what you see in store windows. If you know of any more obscure Citizen lines and sub-brands, definitely drop them in the comments. And let me know in the comments which of these you've seen in the wild, or if there are any others I missed. I'm still learning, and half the fun is discovering these brands in the first place, as well as sharing these discoveries with you watchers. So thanks again for watching, catch you next time.